Good evening. This is episode 69 of Vibin with Ashley live. I'm really excited for tonight's show. We have the incredible Brandon Rose joining us, singer, songwriter, bassist, based in Michigan. His sound is a mix of R&B, funk, jazz, hip hop. It's amazing. And Brandon is in the room. Brandon, whenever you're ready, come on in. There he is. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. Brandon,
What's up?
how's your night going?
It's going good. I just got back from Chicago, so
Oh, heck
that
yeah.
was
What,
fun.
Chicago?
I had a gig actually. I was playing with this group. It's called Pure Soul Presents. And
Cool.
they present a lot of different how do you say it? I guess you say like tributes. There
Mhm.
was last night was a Soul Divas tribute, so we did songs from Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone.
Ooh,
Who else? I'm missing Patti LaBelle.
yeah.
It was really nice, but it happened kind of like what up, Zach? It happened last minute. I was literally sitting at my computer at 1 o'clock, and the cat called me. He's like, "Hey, this is weird, but can you do a gig today?" I'm like, "Sure." He was like, "All right, well, it's in Chicago." I'm like, "Okay, so I have to leave now because from here it's probably like it was 5 hours." So
Oh,
I
wow.
was So I was on the clock, but it was a nice gig. I love Chicago, so
Yeah.
it was
Chicago
great.
Chicago is such an incredible city. And to know like you were able to do the gig the same night,
Yeah,
that
it was wild. Like it was and I'm the whole car ride there. It was music that I knew, but
Mhm.
I hadn't played it in a little while. So the whole car ride for 5 hours, I just was looping like the whole entire playlist. But it was cool. Like I think Chicago, their energy that they had at the venue, it was great. We got great response from everybody working there. It was a lot of energy, and me personally, like I vibe off of energy. So
yeah.
I was in cloud nine.
Oh, that's so awesome. Was that the first gig that you've played during this crazy pandemic we've been in?
Um, Thankfully, no. This pandemic has not really stopped gigs for me per se, which I'm really thankful for. But at the same time, like I do acknowledge how how tough this time is for a lot of musicians, a lot of my friends too. I've just been blessed to be in a position where opportunities to perform still or adjust, like doing things from a live stream standpoint, and still being able to do what I love to do
Yeah.
amidst, the world being stopped, being on pause.
Hmm.
I've thankfully been really busy during the pandemic. There was probably like 2 months or so that there was no gigs. Um, but other than that, it's just been nonstop. Like something pops up every week.
Yeah. That's a great position to be in though as a musician, especially because so many musicians had been hurting for the past
Oh,
year,
big time. Big
right?
time. Yeah.
I feel like every industry across the board got hit, right? Everybody that we know got hit somehow, but
Yeah.
musicians took the biggest hit of all.
Oh, big time. Yes. Because like, I mean, we were the first like in the industry, we were the first ones to close.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like the last ones to kind of get back open. And we're still not,
I know.
fully back. Like there's festivals, people love festivals and everything. There's no telling what that's gonna look like. So it's really just adjusting. But props to like all my musician friends. Um, it just shows something very special about musicians that we're able to adapt and adjust because as much as we can sit here and complain saying, oh, there's no opportunities, like there's no performances,
Right.
we made a space for ourselves. I mean, even commending you with uh Ashley Live, like this is something that, happened. You've been doing this since what?
August.
August, yeah. So I mean, we're just adjusting. There's always new ways to kind of just put out there what you want to put out there, and
Yeah.
it's not you know, we don't make excuses for saying, oh, well, you know, there's a pandemic going on, so we can't have gigs. Like, well, you know, we can just adjust and adapt. And now I think live streams, that's going to be a huge thing, even when things get back to normal. I think that's part of the industry.
Right. I think adjusting and adapting is so important, right? Because nobody knew how long this was going to last or what it was, how serious it was, right? And it's kind of like you just need to be creative and be like, okay, well, I know this is what I want to do, but how am I going to go about doing it?
Exactly.
And other people are doing, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I need to go on Instagram. Maybe I need to go on maybe collaborations, because that can help me get put on other people if you collab with other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See?
So, Brandon, I start each show off with a song lyric, and you were right on time at 8 p.m. So I didn't get a chance to do it yet. Thank you for being on time.
Of course.
So this is from your recent single, Revenge, that came out April 14th from your second album.
Yes.
You could change me. You thought you could win. I know it's probably not easy to see the places that I've been. Ever since we met our end. Revenge.
Yes.
So for people that don't know this song, give a little insight into Revenge and what this song is about.
Sure. I won't go too crazy into details. I don't want to reveal the person or persons. But no, I mean, Revenge, it's really about, so Revenge, when you hear Revenge, and I talked about this preparing for the release and everything, but when you hear the word revenge and you just see that word played, you know, put into action, it usually has like a negative connotation to it, right? Like somebody's getting somebody back, or like causing harm or inflicting some type of hurt or pain on somebody. Yeah. That's not my nature. So that's never been something that I'm just like, oh, I'm coming to hurt you, you know? And but being what the song is trying to embody, which is this idea of revenge, and how could I say, how I interpret that, or how I put that into action in my life. Like I said, I don't try to intentionally hurt anybody out of payback or, you know, just spite or whatever. But I do think that when negative things happen to me, the way that I internalize it is, okay, well, this happened, like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. So my revenge is really what I was trying to convey. What I feel like I conveyed it in the song is, you know, the best revenge sometimes is your success. So this particular song, I was in a headspace thinking about a situation where there was an individual that was really trying to prevent me from doing the thing that I was like prepared and ready and fully capable of doing. Yeah. And it got to the point where, you know, I was going to a lot of rehearsals for this, like, this show. I'll say a show. I was going to rehearsals. I knew all the music. I knew all the material. And I get to the show, and there's a bass player in my position. I'm like, so this cat was not at any rehearsals. I've been at every rehearsal. I know all the music. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so let's figure this out. I'm like, so what's going on? And the comment was like, you know, you're too young to be on this stage. Like, you're not professional enough. Oh, wow. So in a sense, it's like, you know, I have to change who I am. Like, I mean, and at that moment, I'm a kid, so I can't really change that I'm like 10, you know? Mm-hmm. So what I did with this song was just get in that headspace and really try to internalize what those feelings were and how I managed to, you know, reach success amidst what this person was trying to prevent me from doing. And it's kind of the payback side of it is the very thing that he was trying to prevent me from doing is the exact thing that I'm doing now. So there's a line in, you said it. I know it's, well, how did it go? Could you read it again? It's the,
you thought you could change me.
Mm-hmm. You thought you would win.
Yeah.
I know it's probably not easy to see the places that I've been ever since we met our end. That's full blown about that situation. Like, I've done so many amazing things and been blessed to have these opportunities to do these amazing things with my music and my career. And it's like from one little incident where you were preventing me from what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
I'm doing that now. So that's my revenge is my success. Like, Google me, you know, that type of attitude, that energy.
Yeah. I love that because you're right. Revenge does have that negative connotation, right? But it's just like, there's always going to be people out there that are haters, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be people that say you can't do this or whatever. Yeah, I saw that comment. There's always going to be people out there that say you can't do certain things, right? But it's, here you are proving them wrong. Exactly. And that's the best thing is like, you just got to keep pushing because the way I look at it is like, there's going to be people that ride with you and that ride against you, right? Exactly. But people are always going to have an opinion, and it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. The way I look at it, people are just obsessed. You know what I mean? So, like, if someone's talking crap about me, I'm like, okay, you're just obsessed with me. You can be talking about anything or doing anything, but
exactly. They had enough energy to put their name in your mouth. So
exactly.
whether they're talking about something good or something bad, hopefully they're talking about something good, but still yet they're using their time and energy to talk about you. So you've caught their attention somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But success is awesome because it's like success means different things to different people. And you're like, here I am, second album, like I am rocking it. I am doing it. Like, you're great. So like, yeah, that's a big, here's the song that's for that person, but you know, I did it.
Right. Exactly. I'm doing it currently.
Doing it, still doing it.
To be continued.
So it's April, it's International Guitar Month. Who is a guitarist that inspires you?
Ooh, a guitarist.
Yeah.
See, that's the one thing. I don't know too many guitarists like that. But bassists.
Okay, we'll do
bass. I can do basses.
Okay.
Okay, wait, scratch that. Hold up. Guitarist, Prince. 100%.
Yes!
Yes. Prince. See who else? Her.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I think
yeah.
That's it.
And Prince, it's actually the 5-year anniversary of Prince's death today. So R.I.P. Prince.
Wow. R.I.P.
Like, oh my gosh, what an incredible, incredible musician.
Exactly. And that, I'm so glad you said that. Like, people see Prince as a musician first. You know, he sings, he does all this other stuff, but his musicianship, I think Prince has been lately, for my first album, Prince was like the main inspiration because I really wanted, it was my first album. So first album is called Transition, by the way, everybody. But I really wanted to make something where my musicianship was on display.
Right.
On top of like all of the other things that I do, which is sing, you know, songwrite, rap, produce, like all this other stuff. And that's one of the things that I commend Prince on, and really just paving the way for artists like me, who really just look up to him, is he really showcased that he is a musician first, and he has so much respect among the musician crowd, and then he has respect among just the music lover crowd, and that's something that I'm hoping to do, that I hope I convey in my music as well. So R.I.P. Prince. Woo.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, like, when you use him as your inspiration and as a mentor, you're like, yeah, Prince level.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Heck yeah.
100%.
Bring us back to your childhood and when this all got started. I know you started playing bass at 5 years old, which is amazing. 5? Oh, my God. Who inspired you to get into music? Walk us through that journey.
Yeah, really, it was the bass player at my church. So I was going to a church in the Detroit area called Word of Faith International Christian Center, and my dad worked at the church, so he volunteered and did sound. So there would be Sundays where we would get there mad early because he has to do sound check for the praise team and the band. So I'm there front row seat to sound check, everything music related, everything technical, all of that. And this was happening like when I was 3, 4, I mean, ever since I could breathe, really. And there was a bass player, Henry Robinson. And he was, I don't know, he just caught my attention. And it got to the point where I would walk around the church like air bassing and slap bass. And what it was, he was slapping the bass. So there's a technique on bass where it's called slap bass.
Yeah.
And it's they say they coined Larry Graham as being the person to invent it, but essentially it's just a percussive type of technique that gives it a feel of like if you didn't have a drummer, you could still have like percussion and bass motion.
Right.
And he was doing it, and I'm like, that's weird, you know. I mean, I'm a 4-year-old kid at that point, like looking at somebody slap a piece of wood, like, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, whatever. So I start running around the church, air bassing, and it got to the point where I asked my dad for Christmas. I'm like, Pops, you know, I want a bass for Christmas. He was like, what you gonna do with a bass? I'm like any 5-year-old, you know, 5-year-olds, they so confident. I'm like, I'm gonna play it. Like, what else is there to do?
Right.
So yeah, I would say Henry Robinson is the reason I started playing music. And of course, like I have to acknowledge, like, this is completely a gift from God. So that's the true reason, like, this was meant for me. So if it was Henry was a big part of, you know, he was my first bass teacher. Literally everything I knew up until he left for the Air Force was from Henry Robinson. But yeah, I'm super appreciative of him and Dana Davis, everybody at Word of Faith that really just embraced a young kid, you know, being able to hang with, you know, the older cats. So
yeah, I'm just trying to imagine a 5-year-old with a bass. Like, isn't it the same size as you? Like, how does that work?
It was rough. Like, for a minute, so my arms were really short, and they said if you're young, like, start off on like this, I don't know, it was like a short bass or whatever. We said, forget that. We're just gonna go, you know, full body. So we got a regular size bass, and it was literally probably the size of me, if not bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm to reach notes up here, like I'm like sliding the bass down so I could go, and then I'm sliding it back up, you know, to come back. It was wild. Like there's a video that went semi-viral. I mean, the internet doesn't let me grow up from it, but I was 10 playing that Marvin Winans, I forgot the name. It was like a American Idol type of thing.
Okay.
And I was like a intermission talent. And I'm playing, and it just the bass is huge, and I'm over here like 4 foot, probably not even 4 foot, like 3 foot something. And I'm just playing. I got flooded pants. My shoes were slick, but I was just, it was rough being young playing the bass, because then you got to lug it around. I'm like,
yeah.
New.
I love it. How would you describe the music that you create?
How would I describe it? I think the main thing is authentic. I think the music that I create is authentic. I try to be an authentic person. Yep. And with everything that I do, I want to present authenticity so that it does not, you know, it's not forgotten about when it comes to my music. And one of my biggest inspirations for music and entertainment in general is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And like it or love it, I know people will have their thoughts about him. He, hands down, in my book, he's the best entertainer to ever do it. And I remember watching an interview that Michael was doing one time, and they asked him, you know, Michael, something about like songwriting. And Michael, he's little. I think he was like 10. He was like, you know, if I write a song, I mean it. Like, I won't write it if I don't mean it. And ever since I've heard that and I started getting into songwriting, that's what I try to internalize. Like, I don't want to write anything that isn't true to me. I don't want to write anything that's just, you know, I'm trying to do this sound or talk about this thing because so-and-so is talking about it, or so-and-so probably experienced it. Let me talk about my experiences, you know? And I guess like a little segue, that's a good segue. That's how Black Roller Coaster came about. Because from my first album, Transition, I was in this place where I was graduating, college. I'm adulting. Obviously, I hit the 21-year-old milestone marker,
Yeah.
and it just felt like a time of transitioning. Like I'm going to that next step. At the time, it was I'm going to that next level of education, like grad school.
Yeah.
But as that started to play out, it just took on a whole different meaning of I'm literally transitioning into another phase of my life, and into more so who I want to be, like who I see myself being. And that's really what quarantine, like this whole pandemic, has taught me. I've just learned so much about myself, and how to, one, just be a decent human being, but
Yeah.
also how to take my experiences and put it into my music. So transition was all about, transitioning, kind of, touching on things that I went through, and all of this stuff. And then for Black Roller Coaster, my executive producer, Davey, he reached out to me, and he was saying, I think for this next project, like we should really dig deep, because he saw that on transition I had, I had the ability to write good music, like a good song. But the thing that he said that would take it to the next level is really writing something that is like blatantly your experience, and something that you're not really just trying to find the right words to make something sound good, but make every word, have meaning. And that's that. Like we started doing just these exercises where for each song we would have a conversation like this, just talking about what does betrayal mean. So on Black Roller Coaster is all these different emotions, right? So the titles are betrayal, revenge, outcry, surrender, and escape, right? And it's all these different emotions. And how we got to Black Roller Coaster is that it's these emotions. I'm telling a story essentially of what it's like to be Black in America, to my like unique experience.
Right.
And what I'm doing through the whole album is taking people on that emotional roller coaster that is our life. Like they can listen to the album and get on that roller coaster for like 20 minutes. We're on it for our life. Like we can't get off of the roller coaster. Like there's stuff with, the George Floyd, like Dante Wright, like all this stuff that's continuously going on. Yeah. This is our roller coaster. Like it's no, all right, rise over. Like, no, it doesn't stop. And we really wanted to convey that. So we said, this is not even all of the emotions that, we go through, but this is essentially an emotional roller coaster that you're taking people on. So let's call it Black Roller Coaster. And we dug deep. Like we would talk about betrayal, and, Davey would ask me, tell me a time when you've been betrayed. And, I would tell him different scenarios, and whichever one really like struck him and really struck me, that I really had something to say about, he would say, that's it. Now we need to feed off of that energy, feed off of those emotions, and put it into, a song. And I think what I've received as far as feedback from people who have listened to the album, and if you haven't listened to it yet, hey, it's not too late. I can put the link.
It came out in February, so
yeah.
Brandon's
Here, I'll put it in,
and I'm gonna pin it. So the people in the chat who have not heard the album, go buy it, go support the new album.
Yeah. So if you go here, Damberville.company, and you just go, it'll take you to like shop now, and then you click all products. It'll go right to Black Roller Coaster. And it's an exclusive release, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. It's an exclusive release. But yeah, I would tell him about these experiences, and then he would just say, after that, like I have notes loaded with everything that we talked about. And it really just, it was an exercise that was difficult, because I never really wrote music from a standpoint of, oh, I'm going into this thinking about what I'm gonna write about and thinking deep about it. I usually just let the music tell the story for me, and then
Yeah.
whatever I'm feeding off of, you know, in that moment, that's what I'm gonna write about. So this was challenging, and I think the best compliment that I've received from, you know, feedback that I've gotten on the album is people still, you know, I'm talking about betrayal, revenge, like all of these sad emotions. I'm a pretty happy guy, you know,
Yeah.
and what people are saying is, you know, your message is so clear. At the same time, we still hear you, like we still hear Brandon, like the funny, outgoing, charismatic. That's what they said about me. I'm not saying this about me, but yeah, like they still hear me,
Right.
and that's the best compliment ever, because like I said earlier, my whole thing is being authentic. And the way that I go through being betrayed, or I get my revenge, or I, you know, crying out for help, or my surrender, or my place of escape, is gonna look different from other people. And I think from the first song, you get a sense of what I'm about as a human, and what I've, at the same time, what I've experienced. Like, I'm in betrayal. I mean, betrayal, that's a word. Like, that is it. That's, you got betrayed, Doc. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do with that?
Intense.
And you know, you could, I mean, musically, I could have easily went for something, you know, in a minor type of vibe, where it's like really, you know, sad and like, oh, he's betrayed. But that's not how I would, you know, convey that I've been betrayed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that I'm walking up to people like, hey, like, I just got betrayed today, I'm so excited. But
Yeah.
more so, if I didn't tell you, you would never know. And I think that's kind of the underlining thing in that song Betrayal, like, which is the first song off the album. You hear like this uplifting, almost like dancing music. Like, it's a beat that is used a lot, like that same rhythm, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a dancing vibe. Like, you want to dance to it. So you imagine like listening to the album. First song is Betrayal. You're listening, oh, like you're dancing,
Yeah.
and people are like, oh, where are you listening to? Oh, it's this new song Betrayal. It's like you're happy, like you're dancing to being betrayed. Like, that's me though. Like, that's how I would, if I'm betrayed, I'm gonna accept that that's something that is going on in my life right now, but I still smile through it. Like, I have to push through it, and the way I push through it is by being uplifting, happy, smiling type of guy, you know. Yeah. So I'm really proud of the album, and I think each song really captures those emotions and those feelings, mm-hmm. more so on a level that is unique to me, but I think at the same time is relatable to, you know, anybody who listens to it. You know, whether you've been betrayed by a boyfriend, or, you know, a parent, mm-hmm. Just abuse of authority in general. Like, right. if you want to get political, like all that stuff, it's mm-hmm. by no means, I do want to give a disclaimer, it's by no means a political album. It just happened to, you know, occur during a very political time, you know. So but yeah, I mean, go listen to it. I'll shut up about it. I'm just really proud of it, and I just so thankful of my team. Shout out Davey, Drew Moore for mixing. Oh, he's amazing. Mm-hmm. Redwood, Austin, who else? Eric, Josh, Brucey J, Brendan, Bell, Bayon the poet, who else? Luke Sittard on the guitar, and yeah, I mean, everybody that was involved. If I miss you, you know it's all love. But yeah, go check it out. It's pendamerville.company. Just click shop now, all products, and it'll be right there. It's exclusive.
Yes, it's exclusive, and it just dropped in February. So I love that whole creative process behind it, because when you were talking about it, I was like, if someone asked me betrayed, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to talk about it.
Right.
You know, like, you dig deep, and you have to feel these emotions that maybe you don't want to feel. But like, I think it's really interesting how you were saying that you're such an upbeat person. And you're like, okay, but this is my take on betrayal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've been fortunate to play internationally. Tell us a little bit more about this experience?
Sure. Yeah. So in 2015, I believe, uh, these people from Iceland just, I guess they found me on Facebook or something,
Yeah.
and they reached out, and I'm looking at it like the message was, hey, we want to fly you out to Iceland and you know put a band together and play around the city.
Yeah.
I'm like, it looks a little sketchy, like I don't know you. And
Fair.
yeah, like we just kept talking, set up some Skype calls, and finally got to a place where we felt comfortable and felt like we could trust these people. And it was amazing. They flew us out, and it was part of this thing called the EU Street Project. And how it started, they wanted to see how musicians from all across the world could collaborate over the internet, which is so ironic. Like, this was happening years ago, and
Yeah.
now like that's all musicians are really doing.
Right.
And so we did the internet thing, and it was great. So they got the grant from the European Union, EU, and they were able to fly me out. I was the only American there. There was a cat from India, my boy Ridu. There was musicians from Berlin, Germany, Czech Republic, and Iceland, of course, like the hometown.
Yeah.
And we got together. It was the most amazing experience ever. And it made my love for music in general just grow so much, because here we are, a whole bunch of people from all across the world. Yeah. We're put into this one room. Mind you, we had like 2 days where we rehearsed, and then we were doing a show. Oh, so wow. It was really quick. And we're coming from different cultures, different language barriers, different backgrounds, the whole nine. Yeah. But once the music starts, it's like we're speaking the same language. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
That's amazing.
It's beautiful. Like it just opened, it helped me see music from a different light. Cause I was looking at music like, oh, I can do this. Like, this is fun. Like, I like listening to music. But when you can see how powerful music is, that literally there was people that could barely speak English, but we can communicate musically, and I can catch certain things that you're about to do. And it's kind of like me just agreeing with you, like in a conversation. It's just great. But we did that, and we were able to go to, we toured and we played shows in Reykjavik, Iceland, Berlin, Germany, and Prague, Czech Republic. Yeah. And why they called it the Street Project was because they wanted to make a more intimate type of setting and more inclusive and participatory, that's a good word, type of environment where we're playing on the street, like the band. And it wasn't no like, just a guitar and like a guitar case and collecting money. Like we had the band. It was drums, percussion. We had a horn section, 2 guitarists, keyboards, singers, and like I'm playing bass. And the whole setup is like something that you would see on a big stage. And what was so cool about it, and I think why they did it, was, we're on the streets. So it makes us, the musicians, seem approachable. And we were, because it was like people would be shopping and they come out of shopping and, oh, like you just walked into the guitar player. Like it was very like, that type of vibe. And it was really beautiful. There was dancers all the time, people just coming up in the middle of a song trying to sing on the mic, like, and it was cool. Like, it was just fun. And it was a great experience. Like I said, it changed my perspective on music so much. Like, I'm so much more appreciative of music because of that particular experience. So yeah.
It sounds amazing. Like, I can only imagine like just walking down the street, or like walking in like a common area where shopping is, and then like seeing all the things. It's like, oh my gosh, they're having so much fun.
Exactly. It's wild. Like, I don't know what I would do if I saw a full band set up like, literally, when I say on the street, like, people, it was on the streets. Like literally in the middle of the streets at some times.
Yeah.
And that's just what it was. And it was great.
Oh, it's so cool. What's one of your most memorable times performing?
Ooh. let me most memorable time performing. Like my original stuff, or
Either.
I'd probably say my most memorable time performing was at the music hall Jazz Cafe in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So my bass inspiration on electric bass is Marcus Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough to actually establish a nice relationship with him. He's been my mentor for over the past several years now.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to Detroit finally. And it was an ongoing joke between us for a while, because he would be touring all these different places. And for those of y'all that may not know, like, Marcus Miller is the cat. Like, he is bass phenom. Like, he's worked with Miles Davis, Luther Vandross. Like, he's just amazing. And then his own music is incredible. But yeah, like, I would be like, yeah, so when you come to Detroit, like, my parents would, jab in on it too. He was like, yeah, man, we're gonna figure it out, man, And he finally came to Detroit. And I was saying, like, should I bring my bass? Like, what should I do? He was like, yeah, bring it, like, whatever. And I went to the green room before the show, and he was like, you got your bass on you? I was like, yeah. And then we started playing, like, some of his music. So he was like, all right, stay tight, like, by the stage. I'll call you up. So literally in the middle of his set, he calls me up, like, on the stage. And at this point, I'm probably like 13. So I'm used to playing at this point, but it's Marcus Miller.
Yeah.
Like, here. And yeah, that was, he pulled me up on stage, and we started playing his song Detroit. And it was it was incredible. And there was a video that posted. I'm like, I don't know why they said that. They were like, Brandon Rose upstaging Marcus Miller.
Oh,
that
wow.
never happened. That there's no upstaging Marcus. But I got on the stage with Marcus, and we were able to really share a dope memory. I would definitely say that's my most memorable performance, for sure.
Love it. So other than Michael Jackson and Prince and Marcus, what other musicians inspire you?
Sure. There's a lot, because I have like my songwriting side, but I also have my jazz side. So I've been really heavy into jazz for the past 4.5 years or so, because that's what I was going to school for. So right off the bat, I say Rodney Whitaker, who is the bass professor at Michigan State University. But he's not just the bass professor. Like, this cat is one of the most working bass players to ever do it, and one of the most swinging bass players. Like, whoo! Yeah, Rodney Whitaker, Etienne Charles, trumpeter, jazz trumpeter, calypso trumpeter. Yeah, and this is just jazz. Robert Glasper, he's kind of, on both sides. Ray Brown, Paul Chambers, this is like jazz bass cats. Ralph Armstrong, Robert Hirsch, a lot. And then on the other side, I'd say her, most definitely. Frank Ocean, Daniel Caesar, Chance the Rapper, Drake, Masego, Redwood, yeah. I really can't even put a full list together.
There's too much.
It's so much. It's so much. And I think what's crazy is, like, Ron Carter, that's on the jazz bass side. Yeah, I think all of these people too, like, there's some element of them that I can hear in my music. And it's not necessarily me trying to sound like them. It's just what I've absorbed for so long. That is, I mean, you develop accents in the way you speak because you're surrounded by people speaking that way.
Right.
And music is no different. So if you're, music, they say it's a language. It's another language, and I wholeheartedly agree with that because, listening to Michael Jackson, like I can hear him on Black Roller Coaster when I'm doing certain ad libs. Like I didn't even know I did this on the last record, I think it's the last song on Black Roller Coaster, which is called Escape. I'm doing like this, the Michael Jackson, like, and I'm like, I didn't even know I did that. Like it never crossed my mind until I was, going through the mixing session. I'm like, so it's just crazy to see how you're not trying to sound like these people, but they just pop up, in your music out of nowhere. So, and it's not out of nowhere. Like you've been absorbing this for some time. So yeah, I mean, that's not even half of it. I'm sure it's too much, too many.
I love it. Now I'm with another one. Who would you most like to collaborate with?
Everybody that I named that is still living. Definitely. Oh, Anderson .Paak.
Yes.
Bruno Mars. Let me see. Her. I'm gonna actually say this. I will collaborate. Now, it's not that I most want to. I will collaborate at some point in my musical career with her, Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars. Who else? Jacob Collier. Tori Kelly. Chance the Rapper, Kirk Franklin, Robert Glasper, Braxton Cook. Julius Rodriguez. Yeah. That's a good 10.
That's good. That's a pretty hefty list.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen. That's why I always ask that question, because it's
so
like
you can look back and be like, yeah.
And you write it down, you manifest it, and you like in your mirror, like every morning when you wake up, right?
Yep.
That's what you gotta do.
It's gonna happen.
What artists or genres of music have you been listening to during quarantine?
I've really been listening to. Finger got jammed. I've been listening to a lot of my friends and peers, colleagues, however you want to say it, listening to their music. Because I think just as much as, as an artist, we want our stuff to get out there.
Of course.
There's other people that, want their stuff to get out there as well. So if I'm putting something out and I'm expecting so-and-so to listen to it, well, when they put something out, it should be the same love reciprocated. And it's not doing it out of like, all right, I'm gonna listen to yours so you can listen to mine. It's just, I support you. I love your music, So one person that she just released her album, I think she's calling it her album, Red to Go, Redwood Sounds. That's her Instagram name, Redwood Sounds. But she goes by the name of Redwood. Amazing. It's amazing. My other friend, Alexis Lambre, out of Chicago, she put out a single, Come Find Me. You need to go find it right now. It is amazing. My boy Evan Taylor, we've been collaborating lately. He's got some great music. I think it's called Grateful. I want to say it's called Grateful. I might. It's something with a G, but it fire. And then outside of that, really, I'm weird. Like, I'm not weird. I just like what I like, I try to listen. I love listening to new music, of course, but at the same time, if I know I like something, I want to hear it again, Right. Like if you go to a restaurant for me, this would be Red Lobster. If you go to a restaurant and something is good, like you're going back.
Right.
That's just what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with music. I've been listening, so I'll go through my catalog of all the people I grew up listening to, like Michael Jackson. I went through his whole catalog like 2 months ago. Prince, not even halfway through his catalog. Stevie Wonder,
Yeah.
Luther Vandross. I was just listening to Luther's like first album,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some bangers on there. I'm like, this was going on in the 80s? Like what?
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, and then people now, like I'm getting hip to some cats now. Like I was not hip to Masego, and really, he's somebody that I see is also doing what I want to do. He's a saxophonist, and what he was doing at first was a thing called trap. I think he was calling it trap jazz, and it was literally trap jazz. Like the beats would be trap influence, but it would be smooth jazz over the top. And he's now went into, I think, just evolved into something. He just evolved. That's the best way to put it. And it's more like R&B heavy, but there's still that element of musicianship. So that's something I've been checking out. His album called Lady Lady. It's either Lady Lady or just Lady. I've really just been interested lately in like music, like, and that's no shade to, the really heavy electronic, digital based hip hop, all those sounds where it's strictly coming from a computer or a sound program within the recording program. But I've been wanting to see like what people are out here, what artists are out here that are making, like, having those elements in there, but the live instrumentation is kind of the main voice, or like the bone to it, Exactly. And the one person, it was like it just fell and right on my lap. Jordan Reiki, I think that's how you say it. I don't know where he's from, and I don't even know how I found. I do know how I found him. My friend Evan Taylor, he posted him, and it was a song that like had live drums, but it still had like a R&B-esque, hip-hop-esque type of vibe. Yeah, I'm like, we doing this with live instruments. And another person, Julius Rodriguez, he released what was it called? Butterfly. He either called it a single or an EP, but it's this new thing where you can release a single and it can be 3 songs. Yeah, I don't understand, but he did that, and it was jazz, but it had 808s in it, hip hop vibes. I'm like, what is this? And that's actually how I found out about the producers slash post-production slash mixer master that helped me out on Black Roller Coaster. He has this thing where he completely like tricks your track out, like completely, and he'll take a live session and make it, I don't know, it's ridiculous. If you want to hear that, I would suggest listening to Outcry when you listen to the album. Download the album, it's pinned. But Outcry, he went ridiculous on that. But that's kind of where I've been at, because I think that's something that I want to do, because that's how music was being made like years ago. Michael Jackson, one of my favorite albums from Michael Jackson is Off the Wall. Yes. Like that's music. Like that is in the studio, like we're making music right now. We got live instruments. Yeah. And of course, like there's some elements of like digital piano, like all that stuff, but the backbone to it is live instrumentation. And I think it creates a whole different vibe, and it's more authentic. It's back to authenticity, and that's, like I said, it's no shade to, because I definitely have music that I've been working on lately as well that is not that. It has live instrumentation, but I wouldn't say it's the backbone of it. Like it's the, the software instrument that's really providing the pulse. But at the same time, like, it's just something about live instruments on a studio recorded song that just, whoo, it does it for me, you know.
It's different. It's beautiful.
It hits different. It hits different.
It
yes.
Definitely.
100%.
So, Brandon, tell everybody who's watching right now how they can find you. Plug all your social media channels.
Sure. So you can find me. Well, you found me. If you're watching this right now, I'm on Instagram, obviously, Brandon Rose Music. On TikTok, Brandon Rose Music. On Facebook, you can either add me as a friend. I think I still have spaces. I think just type in Brandon Rose and look for my face. Or you can go to my fan page, which is Brandon Rose Music. What else? Twitter, Brandon Rose Music.
Oh.
M-U-S-I, no C. So It was almost Brandon Rose Music, but it's too many words, apparently. Yeah, too many letters. Yeah, and then for, YouTube, type in Brandon Rose, you'll see my picture come up. And then for streaming services or platforms, Brandon Rose, Brandon Rose, like, it's Brandon Rose everything. There is another Brandon Rose out there. He's a rapper. And he hit me up on Instagram one time. He was like, hey, namesake, like, see you killing the game. I'm like, all right, appreciate it. So it's not him. So if you see a dude with a red hat and a beard, that's not me. I don't really have a beard. But if you keep looking, I promise you'll find me. I think the best way to find it is, like, real quick. If you want to go on the streaming services, just type in Brandon Rose Transition, and my album will come up. And shout out to Red Campbell and Randy Seal for helping me out in Transition, and all the musicians involved in that. They helped out with the mixing and mastering. So that was, if you need some mixing and mastering in your life, you just got it. Boom. But yeah, I think that covers it, right?
I think so. I don't know. The media channels, how can you get them all? Like, there's so many, right?
That's why I try to make it real easy. Brandon Rose Music. Twitter wanted to be weird and not let me put a C at the end of an I. So Brandon Rose Music. But
so how can people watching this right now support you as a musician?
You can support me by purchasing my latest album, Black Roller Coaster. It's right here. It's right there. Or just in general, whatever you come across that is from me, if you like it, just share some love. Send me a DM. I check my DMs all the time, and I'm talking to myself when I say that, because I need to check my DMs again. But I try to really be active with, my fans and people who are showing love. Like, I love love. So if I'm receiving it, you're going to get it right back. So if you like something that I did, hit me up. Like, I'm the most like, people freak out. Like, lately, I don't know, my Instagram has been growing, thankfully. And people are looking like, oh, he's got this many followers. Yeah, he's probably on a When I tell you, if you send me a DM, I might get to it like 3 months later, but I'm going to get to it. So you will hear from me at some point. Just send me a DM if you rock with anything. You can even purchase Transition. It's on Bandcamp right now, and I have physical copies of that still. So if you want, go to Bandcamp, purchase Transition. I'll autograph it for you. If I know you, I'll leave a nice little note. If there's anything you want me to write on there, I'll do that too. I'm really just all about making connections, forming relationships, and just sharing my passion. Like, that's what it's here for, So let's do it together. Let's do it together.
Yes, let's do it. So all the questions that I have for you, but you're gonna do a little performing for us, huh?
Am I gonna do a little performing? Okay, I can do that. Let's see. Let me see in the chat. Do y'all want to hear a cover or an original? It's gonna be a little delay, but
Like
a cover or an original? Do we have time for two?
yeah, two is good.
Oh,
yeah.
we can still do two?
We can
All
still
right, well, never mind. Don't say anything. You're going to get both. So here we go. I'll start with something y'all might know. How about that? I know you're all at home, but feel free to sing along. Somebody said an original. It's coming. Can y'all snap with me? You don't know, babe, when you hold me and kiss me slowly, it's the sweetest thing. And it don't change. If I had it my way, yeah, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're the sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me? Give it all. Oh, and I just wanna see. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I follow. No matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part is the sunrise and those brown eyes. Yes, you're the one that I desire. Hey. And when we wake up and then we make love, it makes me feel so nice, nice. You're the I forgot the words. Oh my God, help me out, y'all know it. Hey, you're the sunshine of my life. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. And where you go, I'll follow. No matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so y'all know what that song was? Best part, Daniel Caesar. Very very groovy, you know. But yeah, I mean I can do the we got time for two, right?
We do.
Okay. All right, this next one is actually a fan favorite. It's been brought to my attention from my album Transition, first album, and it's entitled Secluded. There's a whole backstory to it that, I mean, it's about relationships, and you'll hear it in the song. How about that? Here we go. one's ever gonna love you better than me. Gave you all I had, wouldn't you agree? But you broke my heart in pieces time and time again. I can't believe I ever loved you. I just didn't want to see who they said you were. I was so naive. But every final moment felt like misery. Yeah. Now I've been thinking, why'd I ever let you in? If I was thinking, I would have waited to begin. But our story's done, and our time is up. Took back the key that you had to my heart. Yeah, I can't let nobody in no more. Secluded mind, I'm locking the door, keeping to myself. No visitors, no visitors. Sun, secluded, yeah. I see you got somebody new now. Made my friends enemies, and I never saw it coming. Hell was in the trees. But watch out for the snakes living in your dreams. Family is the only thing now. Looking out for me. Oh, y'all deserve each other, common tendencies. Sneaking in the dark, trying not to breathe. I've been thinking, why'd I ever let you in? Yeah, I was thinking I would have waited to begin. Oh no, our story's done. Our time has been up. You couldn't handle the key to my secluded mind. I can't let nobody in no more. Secluded mind, like in the dark, keeping to myself. No, bye with me, y'all. Come on. Yeah, secluded. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Chat.
Thank you.
Outline. So guys, if you have any questions for Brandon, feel free to put them in the chat below.
Please.
Yes, he's ready.
I'm ready. Ready to go.
Yes, we see you. Thank you, Gamby, Colette, Jamie. Thank you.
What's up? Oh, what's up, Jamie? It's my little sis. Jamie, they don't. Where Justin at, Jamie? Tell Justin I said what up. Oh, learn next. I don't know if there will be a next. Kind of getting up there in the age bracket, you know. No. But I'd probably say I'm really torn. It's between piano and guitar. I've been producing and learning more about production and just producing a lot more lately. Yeah. And my go-to instrument now is my guitar is over here in the corner. And I know just how to make, you know, I mean, two notes are enough to make it sound like I know what I'm doing.
Of course.
But yeah, I think if I could get to a point where I know a chord and how to play a chord, and not just one chord, because I know one chord, like, let me see. I know it's right here. This is the only chord I know. It's out of tune. But, you know, I could go, you know, all that. But I don't know what that's called. But, yeah, I lean towards, like, of course, bass is my main thing. So when I'm producing stuff, I try to make a catchy bass line or let the bass be, some type of backbone. Right. But right after I play the bass and then I make the drum track, I'm grabbing the guitar, tuning it up, and trying to see what two notes are going to fit for this particular song. So, yeah, I'd probably say, I say guitar. More than likely it's going to be piano, though, because I already know some basics on piano. But if there's a next.
Where would you like to travel post-COVID?
Oh, I would love to go to Africa. I don't know a specific place yet. I just know I need to go there. Yeah. And as well as I would love to go to Haiti, Trinidad. Yeah, like I'd say those are the top 3 places right now. Somewhere in Africa, I'll do some more research to see where. Haiti and Trinidad.
How do you come up with the vibe for your songs?
Great question. Well, like I said earlier, I know y'all, if you're just tuning in, you probably missed it. You did miss it if you're tuning in right now. But at first, so like when I wrote Transition, the whole album, I was really in a headspace of I'm just gonna let the music tell me what to write. I did go as far as to like write titles. I would I put titles up all over this wall. Believe it or not, this room used to be blue, all blue, right? And this wasn't here, and I had 7 songs, like sheets of paper just going across the wall, and I just titled everything, but that was it. Like the title really didn't give me much meaning. It was more so like, this is a title. Now let the music kind of lead you to make what this song is about to be about. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it was that's one way of doing it. I mean, I'm just a big like spiritual type of cat. So I love doing it that way because it's so free. And it's literally like you allow the music, like imagine letting the music tell you what to do. Like it's whispering to you, oh, play a C. Like it's not that like, but that's what I envision when I say like, let the music tell me what to do. It's like, I'm just in this place and I go into it just open, free, and I just let whatever comes to me, let it come. And I don't say no. There's never a no. Even if I don't like it, I'll just delete it later, but I'm gonna put it out, you know, or just put it into the session just to see like, you know, what's going on in my head. And it also trains me not to have any limitations when it comes to creating music. And that's the most freeing part about making music. So that's one way. And then for Black Roller Coaster, it started with the song and like the meaning of the song, the meaning behind the song. What
Mm-hmm.
experiences did I have that could be talked about in this song? And that was very difficult because you have to dig deep. Sometimes you got to go to untouched territory to, to get something, like I said earlier, that's authentic. Because me personally, if it's not authentic, I'm not writing it. But like I said, just recently, I've been really getting into production, and it's my new writing process is kind of a mix. I wouldn't really say new, like it's just another way of doing it. This other way that I'm doing it now is a mix of the two, because I love the creative and like the spiritual side of creating music and in the moment. I let that's what I do for the production of the music itself.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I create, so I wrote a song called Crazy that I'm hoping to release very soon. But I did the beat, and I had no idea what I was about to write. Like it was it was the beat, and I let the music come to me, and it was that was great. And I think because of the production, like I took a production class that it taught me all some ins and outs of just how to make your workflow a little more, a little better.
Yeah.
And it also showed me a different way that I could write lyrics for songs. So I made the beat, and then when it came to writing the lyrics, it was a mix of, well, it wasn't really a mix. It was tapping into that side of, from writing Black Roller Coaster, which from the production class, that's what they were teaching, is like digging deep, thinking about what the song is going to be about, and making every part of the song have a meaning, have purpose, not just putting words to put words. So the music is what came in the moment, but now the songwriting aspect of it is really well thought, like situational. So this song Crazy, I wrote it about an experience when I was in middle school. I was in middle school, and I asked this girl out. I thought she was feeling me, because I was definitely feeling her. But it was right before, I think, like a social studies class or something. And I asked her out, and I'm like, yeah, like, would you go out with me? Like, would you be my girlfriend or whatever? And she was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I mean, you're Brandon. I was like, okay, like, what does that mean? So for, like, if you know me, like, I'm very loud at times. My old me could be very obnoxious, and yeah, I think that's probably what she was referencing to, is that like I'm just this loud, just off the wall type of cat. But I was still like, what you mean? Yes, I'm Brandon. Like, what's up? So I mean that's something that happened in middle school. I'm 23 years old now, so it's like to go back to that moment, and think about, like, what did I feel in that moment? Like that's tough, and I don't write anything unless I genuinely know what I felt in that moment. I'm not gonna recreate the past and be like, oh, that's exactly what I felt. Like, no, think deep about what your feelings were, and put that into the song. So the song Crazy is essentially that it's inspired by that situation, but it's essentially saying, like, I'll do all these things for somebody, like I'll be crazy in love with somebody, even when they're emotionally unavailable, or they just straight up don't want me. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still crazy about you. So that's that song. I'm excited for that one to come out. It's a little different vibe. So yeah.
Awesome.
But, yeah, I hope that answers the question.
That's all the time that we have for this evening, Brandon. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on my show. Do you have any final words for the room?
Well, first, Ashley, I just want to thank you for having me on the show. To everybody that tuned in, thank you so much for the support. If you ended up purchasing Black Roller Coaster, the exclusive release, stay tuned, because there will be more exclusives specific for you, and the people who were able to purchase the album. And for everybody else, keep rocking with me. I really appreciate it. There's more stuff coming. I'm just so excited. There's so many things that are happening. Things are moving in the right direction, and we're gonna be making some moves. We're gonna be making some moves. Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. If you don't already, please make sure to follow Brandon here on Instagram and all social media platforms. He has a lot of good stuff coming up, guys. Don't already, please make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And Brandon, thank you once again for joining me. Have a great night, and we will see you guys next time.
Absolutely. See y'all.